Jake's ultimate battle. Jake's head was tightly wrapped in an iron chain, and the mighty enemy lifted him into the air. No matter how hard Jake struggled, he couldn't break free. This time, his life was truly on the line. A rain of bullets. Jake jumps into battle. Through his sniper rifle, Jake saw that the mercenaries were about to shoot Beck. Beck took cover inside a car while Susan put on a bulletproof vest and rushed in to assist. Soon, gunfire erupted, and a fierce battle broke out between the police and the mercenaries. Jake put down his sniper rifle and charged into the battlefield. Susan arrived in her vehicle but quickly became a target. Jake bravely stepped forward and neutralized the threat, but many police officers had already fallen. Seeking revenge, Jake wiped out the mercenaries. Meanwhile, the mercenaries spotted Beck, forcing him to flee. Susan discovered that an informant was being held captive in a house, while Jake informed Beck that the real deal was happening at the mansion. Infiltrating the mansion, a war about to begin. Jake and his team sneaked into the mansion, using a truck as cover. Just as they parked, a massive enforcer arrived to inspect them. Jake signaled Susan and the others to move ahead while he stayed behind to confront the brute. Jake launched a surprise attack, but the towering opponent resisted with sheer strength. With a single counterattack, he slammed Jake against a car door, shattering the glass. A brutal fight broke out, and Jake began losing ground. He tried to choke the brute with a chain, but the enemy broke free with raw power and hurled Jake to the ground. The fight raged on until both of them crashed through a barrier and plunged into the sea. A fight to the death underwater. The waves crashed violently as Jake struggled, but the brute grabbed him by the throat, cutting off his air. In a desperate move, Jake clutched a sharp metal shard and stabbed it deep into his enemy's neck, finally breaking free. The brute sank into the depths while Jake barely managed to reach the shore. Exhausted, he dragged himself toward the mansion. Susan takes action. Jake grabs a shotgun. Meanwhile, Susan located the captive informant, but he had been drugged and couldn't move. As she attempted to take him out, she heard footsteps outside the door. She quickly hid, ready to strike. In the mansion's main hall, Quinn was in the middle of a deal when Jake silently slipped in. He picked up a shotgun and waited for the perfect moment. As the buyers inspected the goods, Jake suddenly pulled the trigger. Boom! The brute and the buyer dropped instantly. Gunfire erupted, causing chaos. Susan quickly led the informant away while Jake stormed through the hall, eliminating everyone in his path. Quinn grabbed the cash and attempted to escape. Final showdown. Beck versus Quinn. As Beck's son was fleeing, he accidentally ran straight into Quinn. With a sinister smile, Quinn seized him and dragged him into an office, reaching for a gun to defend himself. But suddenly, Beck appeared, aiming his gun at Quinn and roaring, "You think I don't have the guts to kill you?" To be continued.